It is a house, it just happens to be on wheels.
Well, Mike, you've been living here for a while. Can you tell us about how you came to live in a lorry on an industrial estate?
Well, it depends how far you go back. I was made homeless when my houseboat sank, so that sort of changed things a little bit. And ultimately I realised it was more sensible living in a lorry, which can't sink. How I came to be here is I was living in a lay-by up on the Crickets Road, about 2 miles from Fort Maddock, and the builders who put this great big building up that's behind you, they came to say, well, we need you to move because we need our trucks in there. And I said, well, why don't you have me as site security? And I said, well, okay then. So they pasted the site security on my lorry, and when the builders left, they left me where I was. And I've been here now for 23 years.
23 years.
The lorry broke down 12 years ago, 13 years ago, hasn't moved since. Wow. Which is a brilliant way of doing it, because had I been on the road with insurance and petrol and diesel and that sort of things, it would have cost me thousands.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm just here.
And 23 years, incredible. And a beautiful location to spend time
I like it, yeah. It's got, within 5 miles, I've got potholing, I've got rock climbing, I've got sailing. Well, until the wagon broke down, now I've got the boat hanging from the back of the lorry and I can't get it anywhere. Snowdon itself, or the mountaineering area, is about 12 miles away. It's just about walkable, basically.
Yeah. So, by any standard, this is an unconventional lifestyle. Why have you opted for this kind of lifestyle?
I'd reverse that round and I would say, why does anybody want to do anything different? I mean, okay, they like paying mortgages and they like buzzy electric in the houses, don't know why. Edison, he was the one who said, in the future only the rich will be able to afford candles. Candles are a nicer light. People like the king and stuff, they have fires always in the background. I have fires in the background. I can't remotely see why you need electric at home. And I know what you're going to say. How do I cope without a fridge? I've never had a fridge, so I don't really know. I'm a vegetarian, so I don't have to worry about meat going off. And the only thing I've got to be a bit careful about in the summer is the milk. But the easiest way to do that is, if you think it's going to be hot, you make rice pudding with it and you boil it up, and then you just eat rice pudding until it's gone. Which of course sterilises the milk and sorted. Washing machines, use the laundrette. It's not practical on a lorry to have a washing machine, because you need constant power to it, you need water pressure, and of course I've got to carry all my water back from a standpipe or somewhere. It is a stream, whatever's around.
You've always been an adventurer, and this was a natural progression from that adventurer life?
From the age of 24, you've got to say up to the age of then, I wanted to be sort of successful, and well, this girl I fancied was middle class, I wanted to be like that. After 5 years of trying, that obviously wasn't going to work, so I came to climb Snowdon instead, and yeah, from there it's led on to that lorry's been to Africa, been to Scandinavia a couple of times, been to the Alps on the motorbike, a bit of climbing, well, quite a lot of climbing in there.
Wow. And you've written several books about your experiences.
2 on my experiences, 1 about living in a lorry and the general domestic situation, and that is called Yet a Seek's Mate. And then the one with the mountaineering side of things and the adventure and the travel is called English Solitaire Cowboy Cooking. And the reason why that title is because when I arrived to the Alps on a motorbike, I never have maps. I had a postcard of what the Mont Blanc looked like. I wanted to go and climb it. And I found myself going up this track called an adventure centre. I didn't know it was an adventure centre. and all these schoolgirls rushed out to look at the motorbike. I should say this motorbike had an armchair on the back, because I was expecting to take a young lady, and the lady dumped me the day before I was meant to go. So that just happens. Used to that. But she had fallen off Ben Nevis as well 2 weeks earlier.
Okay.
So I think that might put her off a little bit.
We can forgive her.
Well, I don't know on that one. But, I mean, she was okay, she was unharmed.
Yeah.
But and all these French girls, about 14, 15 years old maybe, came circling round to see what had arrived, this motorbike with an armchair on the back and runner boards and extended sachet and lots of climbing gear piled up. And after a little while, one girl tried to work out some English, and the only English word she could think of was English, solitaire, cowboy, cuckoo, which everybody thought was okay.
Is this part of your DNA? You just have to live differently?
Well, I haven't lived in a house since 40, 50 years. First of all, it was the boat, and then it's the lorry. Oh, and a homeless phase as well, but that's okay.
Like you say, it may be the definition of insanity is to stay rooted.
It is a house, it just happens to be on wheels. Would you like to see your roof garden?
Yes, let's see your roof garden.
Okay, let's go and see your roof garden. Follow me. Now you need a roof garden to grow cauliflowers, because I have an obsession for cauliflower leaves.
Right.
And you can't buy cauliflowers with the leaves on anymore, so I have to grow my own to get the leaves. But that goes back to my homeless phase, when cauliflowers used to arrive with the leaves on, and you could go down the greengrocers and say, well, I've guinea pigs, pretend I love guinea pigs, can I have some cauliflower leaves? They give you cauliflower leaves you could eat yourself and boiled up, and they'd taste ever so nice. So, how to live for nothing, so I do know how to live for nothing if I need to.
Yeah.
So welcome on board. Close the door behind you, keep the heating.
What would you call this room?
This is the kitchen and my study.
The kitchen and study?
Yeah, because I was writing here many years ago when they had to have the big typewriters and things, so I needed a desk. Now I just use a laptop, so it's just basically a spare service.
Got your kitchen and pantry?
Pantry, yes.
Your stove?
Yes.
Got everything you need. Cook up a nice meal.
When you're having a shower, don't bother with fancy stuff. All you need is one of those. Put it on the gas stove, 20 minutes depending on the temperature, or on top of the wood burner, and then you just tip it into there, and that actually has a pumping like you have a shower, like you're having a garden pool. You know, they use for fountains and things, and that's the only thing I need electric for, and that runs from a car battery, and one charge on a car battery lasts about a year. You know, how much depends how much money showers just take, I suppose. That is
a unique shower system that I've seen. That is
it's practical.
Really cool. Yeah, very practical.
Works really well. Any more with big tanks, so you can just carry these back, stick them into there, a bit of rainwater maybe, whatever's going.
Excellent.
And you have what they call a navy shower, because you can get about 8 litres of water there. Basically you spray yourself over, soap yourself down, and then you spray yourself off. If you're going to stand in the shower for 20 minutes like some people do, that would not work with that. But it gives you plenty.
Yeah.
So you come here to the workshop.
All your tools.
Yeah, you build the workshop first, then you can build. All this is built by myself. Right. Mostly from scrap things I found in skips and things like that, which always a bit hiddly-piddly some places. Or hand tools, obviously.
Wow.
So if you want to come through here, or if I go through this way to the living room, I'm sure you'll come through. You might want to look into there briefly.
Oh, a shower room, yeah.
There's a shower room. I leave it drained out at night at the moment, because at night it goes below freezing point in here.
Right.
I don't want ice accumulating. So my water system, I've got a gravity fed tap there, but that's shut down for the winter, again because of the ice.
And that's a spacious shower, that is. You could swing a cat in there, couldn't you?
You could.
not that I endorse swinging cats anyway.
No. And then we come through to the living room, which at the moment, all my heating comes from pallets. That was a tree branch that fell down over the footpath, so I had that. So somebody dumped an old roof round, which I'm breaking up. That makes a nice fire. So there's basically me heating, and quite useful because these pipes for chimneys quite expensive to buy, and I don't like buying expensive things. It's built in brick, because brick you can get it shape you want, but it also holds the heat, so that keeps you warm to about 4 hours after the fire's gone out. Obviously in the morning you're down to outside temperature, but you can get into bed when it's quite warm. And the roof garden,
I've got to say, it's very toasty in here. Very toasty.
Oh yeah. Just I've burnt about 1 pallet for all this morning, and the roof garden is up there. Bit of sunbathing maybe. Not growing anything this time of year. And the chimney pot is sort of made, bit of a chimney stack there. I need to get a proper chimney pot on top, because when the wind blows in a certain direction it does send smoke down the chimney.
This is really impressive, the roof garden, I've got to say.
Well, it's also a fire escape.
Yep.
If you're in a back room, because all this box is added on, it's all steeled round, and there'd be no way out if there's a fire in the kitchen. So you can actually go up there.
Perfect.
It's obviously strapped down if I wanted to make it secure if I go away anywhere. But yeah, so make sure you've got an escape both ends.
You say, obviously the candles here, you live by candlelight more than anything.
That's the top of a gate.
Top of a gate.
That's it. You just kind of chop it off, and that is an absolutely brilliant way of going about things, because it can dry things. Very useful for that. And it's obviously a candle holder things. So, yeah. Oh, and also you can peg bits of paper on there. So if you're doing some writing, you can do that. And you can sit in your armchair, you can read it down. And
oh, we've got an exclusive of Mike's new book here.
you have got an exclusive.
Let's redact it quickly. You saw it here first. It's a world exclusive.
Yeah, that's okay. We're getting on to the editing stage now, where it's been looked at and there's ticks and things in there.
Yeah. And you got the pegs up here. Is that for drying clothes and
Drying
things?
clothes.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend ages at the laundrette throwing money into a tumble dryer. Now, it's not advisable if you live in a lorry to dry your clothes outside on a washing line. It just attracts too much attention.
Yeah.
Takes too long. You can't do it. So I have a fairly good drying section at the library, but at the laundrette. But sometimes you end up with a towel that's damp, or an individual t-shirt that's damp, and then you can just hang them up and they'll dry naturally enough.
What are the highlights of this life for you? What is it that makes this life special?
Well, it's all pretty perfect, to be honest. There's nothing really that goes wrong. I mean, I say that as a pensioner who gets a state pension now, so I don't have to worry too much about it. And I live on, depends where you take it. I pay about $1,000 a year in lieu of rates, but that's the voluntary thing. You don't have to do that. In fact, the council won't accept rates on a van. No idea why, but you can make donations to the community hall and things like that to get around that. And so besides that, I live on about, well, I live rather luxuriously now. I spend about £15 a week.
Wow.
On my groceries and everything else. But I could live on lots less than that, because like one of the best salads you can have is dandelion leaves. They've got far more energy and vitamins than lettuce. So why would you go and buy a lettuce when you can go and pick some dandelion leaves? About 1 month a year probably when you can't get them. But people who do it properly can forage and survive totally on food. But I do my foraging late at night at supermarkets, seeing what's on 75% discount and just buying that, and then work out how to cook it when I get it home.
What do you say to people that look at this life and they probably judge you, like as they judge other people who live in vans or live on boats? How do you respond to that, or do you not encounter it too much?
Well, when I was living up in the lay-by before I came here, for 3 years, I was just known as the tramp. Apparently, I didn't know at the time because I didn't speak to anybody. But they just, there's a tramp living in a lay-by up there, but he probably seems harmless enough. Well, having a boat hanging from the back of the lorry, that sort of gets quite a bit of attention. I was mobile then, obviously. When I started to get known as a writer, it was quite a bit of a surprise. The guy in the lorry actually writes books. And bit by bit they got to know me, and then the newspapers got involved and whatever. And now some people think I'm eccentric. The last time I was called a tramp was probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. But I don't think there's anything wrong in being a tramp. Tramp simply defines somebody who wanders around and has a good time and probably doesn't do too much work. Hopefully they do some work to pay for themselves. The myth that people in wagons always scrounge on social securities, it is just a myth. Some people do, but a lot, just like me, live on a £5 a week. After my homeless phase, towards the very end, I did do a few months when I had to sign on social because I was really, really hungry. And then I decided to had enough of this, I'll get a job, and hopefully I've paid everything back by now. But yeah, it's cheap. To get started, not too bad. The lorry that we are now on cost me 1,600. That's a Mercedes. It was 5 years old when I bought it, so now it's about 30 years old, so it can be written off in value. And that's been done thousands of miles around Scandinavia and things. And the box that we're now in come off a lorry before that. So the box we're now is about 50 years old, and that costs me 1,200, lorry and box. So you've got a couple of thousand to start off with if you're going to have a vehicle this size. But once you've done that, then you've got a choice of either keeping it mobile, which is obviously you're not going to live on £20 a week if you're going to keep mobile, not with petrol, or you try and find a quiet place to hide and then just get on with life. But I'm quite lucky being here so exposed, because I came here turn of the century when not many people did it and there was no particular panic. Around North Wales now, they do try to discourage people in their hundreds coming to live in wagons at the roadside. So I probably wouldn't get away with this now, but obviously I've become local over however many years. And yeah,
you're very modest, because again you're a celebrated local author. You know, the town has really embraced you as one of their own and celebrate your work, which is great.
Yeah, locally I'm very well known. When you get beyond 25-mile radius, then people don't tend to know me that well. It's I'm still the guy who lives in a lorry, and get the few people saying, well, why haven't you bought a house yet? And I just say, I've got a house, it's just on wheels.
I love that.
And you see, don't need a clock because the train, you've heard the train just go by. Yeah. Another good thing, if you're old age pensioner like me, believe it or not, you can use your bus pass on the train for the winter. So I can do quite a lot of travelling and all free.
So you're content in life, would you say?
Last year was probably the best year of my entire life, which was just totally perfect. I went on about 20 good climbing trips, got my potholing video done, had a good response with books, did a couple of book launches, everything was just perfect.
And played a lot of chess, I imagine, as well.
I do play a lot of chess. I'm in 4 clubs, and I run pretty much look after the Port Maddox Club, which meets on the library. And now all the libraries are running chess clubs at night. And this is one thing you have to do if you're thinking about, you know, an ideal lifestyle with electric. You obviously haven't got computer games, so you stick with the old-fashioned ones, which are much more fun, which is chess, Monopoly, things like that. But I'm mainly chess because I like the intellect of it, and I do probably spend about 10 hours a week playing chess.
Nice.
But the people I play tend to spend about 40 hours a week playing chess. So now I'm still struggling to win on the level that I'm playing at. I do a bit of teaching of basic chess as well, and do that.
So you've seen it all in nomad life and adventure life, and a life that's more based on creating a freedom for ourselves.
Well, yeah, I'm almost totally free, and pretty much go anywhere where I want to. I haven't particularly seen it all because I believe, you know, a lot of people have televisions, I believe, where you can see pictures of other places. Whereas I can't see pictures of other places. I can read books, which I've got quite a few. Yeah, so there are aspects of my life that I haven't had, but that's fine by me.
Final question is, what would your advice be to someone who, I don't know, is stuck in a house, maybe a traditional house with concrete or bricks, and they feel rooted and they feel like they're not satisfying that element of their soul, which is that adventure?
Well, if it's a rented house, that's basically just silly. You know, they might as well just tear up £10 notes. If it's the house that they bought, they've got two choices. Assuming they've got a garden, they can buy a lorry, they can put it in the garden, and they can live in the lorry and drive off whenever they want to, unless somebody else pay the rent. They haven't rent, because you just let the house go. Or you can just sell the house and just go. There are places in the country where it is difficult to park up and to live. But basically, you've got all of Europe to play with. So you don't have to be in Wales. I just happen to prefer Wales. If you go into some of the Nordic countries up by Arctic Scandinavia, where I've been in this, everybody just assumes people live in tents and wigwams and little huts that they build, got a reindeer floating around. Actually, they don't float. That's just
only one day a year.
Yeah, but you do see them, and then you can go down to Morocco, drive down. Depends how much money you've got behind you to do that, but you still don't need that much. The expedition I did to Africa, which lasted about a month, cost me about £2,000 for everything, because you obviously got ships to go across. You got one. Getting across the Mediterranean is quite easy, but not particularly cheap in a lorry, and obviously paying the petrol to get through France and Spain. And also, because I don't use road maps, I tend to wander about. I just travel on a compass. I knew the Mediterranean was south, so I just headed that way. And sometimes you end up at dead ends, or you go the wrong way, or why am I doing here? You see some interesting sights that way. Yeah. So, especially around Spain. Yeah.
So this is a lifestyle you definitely recommend then?
For everybody, yeah. I would only give this up at a time when I would be unable to get into the lorry, because as you probably saw, you have to climb up 2 steps to get into the lorry. Yeah,
I had my rope on though, so
but at the moment I'm quite fit. So where I am now, because I've been here for so long, first of all I built a ramp up so I can get my wheelchair up there. But ultimately, if you do lose fitness, then you can't live this way, because I walk to the shops, walk everywhere, to bus stops and things at least. And yeah. So if I'm ill, at the moment I'm 72. I know people go climbing much later than that, so I'll probably be up to 85, and I'll think about it. Yeah, then we'll take each day as it comes. But at the moment it's all fine.
Yeah, should worry about that in old age.
Oh yeah. My recommendation is that I never smoked, never take alcohol, I'm a vegetarian. And I can still do about, at a push, 20 miles of mountain walking a day.
Wow.
Which is plenty for around here.
I know a lot of 30-year-olds that couldn't do that, to be honest.
I can compete with most teenagers. I can wear most teenagers out. Yeah. But
Fantastic. Well, thanks for showing us a little bit about your life.
it's a pleasure. Maybe I say that 20 minutes ago I was just sitting down having a cup of coffee by my fire and you knocked the door. So it's all been spontaneous. There's nothing scripted, as it probably shows.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mike.
Okay, thank you. That's quite funny. You see the way that line of tarmac bends round the lorry?
Yeah.
That's because when the gas people went to lay new mains, they wanted to do it straight. And they said, can you read lorry? And I said, no, I can't. It's all broken down. I said, okay, well, we'll build it round. So they swapped the gas main round. That'll be there forever, that swinging gas main.
That
The
is...
electric company wanted to go run a new cable down. They wanted me to move my truck as well. And I said, well, I can't. So they worked underneath the truck. And the cable goes underneath there.
That is very considerate.
It's everybody around here is ever so friendly and helpful. I didn't make them cups of coffee. So, yeah.